Hello there, fandoms of the world. My name is TheGeekTheorist, and welcome to my review/analysis of RWBY Volume 4, Episode 1. Now before we get into things, I just want to say that should you all enjoy this video, I'm open to doing weekly reviews for every new episode. These videos are going to take a slightly different format than my usual videos. I'm hoping to keep them at about 5 minutes and not use as many graphics as I usually do, just to get them out as quickly as possible. So let me know down in the comments if you're interested in weekly episode reviews, or if there's anything you think I should change or tweak as far as the style of these videos goes. This review does contain spoilers, so be warned. If you haven't seen the episode yet, I will be discussing the specifics of the events of the episode. That being said, let's get into the review. The episode opens up with a very cool shot of a Grimm coming out of some kind of pool of dark liquid. Now, whether or not this is how Grimm are made isn't exactly clear, but I'm inclined to believe that this is where they come from. From here, we move to a shot of Mercury and Emerald in a tower of some kind, looking out over the Grimm with looks of shock and fear on their faces. This could potentially be hinting at a redemption arc somewhere down the line for one or both of them, so it's definitely a shot worth noting. The entire scene that takes place here is definitely one of the high points of the episode. We're immediately introduced to some new villains, and we hear and see a lot more of Salem as well as the area that she lives in. One thing I'm not too big on though is Tyrion, one of the new villains, as he seems kind of like just another Joker ripoff type character, but who knows, he may prove to be a more complex character as the volume progresses. The real intrigue to this scene is Cinder, who has been rendered unable to speak as a result of Ruby's silver eye power, and now relies on Emerald to convey messages. I know that Cinder is a fan favorite villain, but she didn't really have many layers to her character prior to this volume, so I see this as an excellent opportunity for some real character development. It will also be important to note how this change affects Merc and Emerald. As I've said before, there are definitely signs that these two may defect from Salem's side, and something that might factor into this is what happened to Cinder. After all, she took the two under her wing and acted as a kind of leader to them. To see someone who had been so close to them injured in this way, combined with their feelings of horror towards Salem's Grimm operation, it might give them reason to leave. So after this scene, we move to an interesting scene where an unknown character of masculine appearance tends to a farm. No context is given for this scene, but clearly this character will become relevant to the story. What's interesting to note is the colors of the character's eyes, a kind of blend of orangish and green. These eyes make it seem as though this character is the Spring Maiden, though that wouldn't make sense if the character is male. However, I wouldn't rule this out just yet. This character could be the Spring Maiden, having taken on a masculine appearance to remain hidden. Or this could even be our first canon trans character in RWBY. Now, nothing is confirmed yet, but at the moment, I'm leaning towards this character being the Spring Maiden, as the villains did mention the Spring Maiden during their meeting, and this would only make sense. Next, we move to the scene from the preview of Team Ranger, or Junior, fighting a Grimm in Mistral. This whole scene is kind of irrelevant overall, and is mostly just used to show off some of the chemistry between the new team, as well as some new powers and abilities. The most important part of this scene, though, is seeing Jean take a leadership role and plan the attack against the giant Grimm, showing how he's developing into more and more of a strong leader. After taking the Grimm down, the team heads back to a small village to collect their payment, and Jean is given a new set of armor, as well as an improved weapon. This scene is where the real feels kick in, as the blacksmith asks John where he got the metal to improve his weapons, and John replies, "From a friend," as the camera pans down to reveal a tiara pattern in gold metal across his shield, in memory of Pyrrha. This scene is important in showing how Jean is carrying Pyrrha's memory, and how he is still grieving her death. This may seem obvious or insignificant, but it's worth noting simply because the show is doing Pyrrha justice as a character. Finally, as Team Ranger moves on, there is a mention of the Schnee Dust Company, and Ruby looks saddened when the name is mentioned. We cut to a scene of Weiss in the Schnee mansion, and a servant comes in, telling her that her father would like to speak with her. This confirms that the episodes are going to be structured in the manner of each member of Team RWBY having their own individual episode. Now, whether this will continue after the first 4 episodes isn't really clear yet. As Weiss gets up to leave the room, the new opening plays, and the episode ends. All in all, this was definitely a solid episode. As a standalone episode, I would give it an A-, and as an opening, a B-. I understand that they're structuring the episodes in a certain way, but I still think it would have been important to at least see a little of each member of Team RWBY, as this is the first episode. Nonetheless, it was still a decent premiere, and definitely got me excited for the rest of Volume 4. So what do you think? Let me know your thoughts on the premiere down in the comments below, as well as whether or not you'd like weekly reviews of each episode. And be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. This has been The Geek Theorist. Until next time.